Lyra, the Gifted Mother by G's Flavor House. Snowflakes drifted softly down on Maplewood Lane, landing on the rooftop fences and little brick houses at the very end of the street. Inside that warm, cozy house lived Mama Lyra, a gentle mother cat with soft gray fur and a voice like a lullaby. Her 3 kittens, Milo, Pip, and Lulu, were full of fluffy energy, especially this time of year, because the kittens were obsessed with Christmas. They loved everything about it. Milo loved the twinkling lights that blinked all night long, Pip loved the smell of cookies baking in the oven, and Lulu loved presents more than anything in the whole world. Every morning before Mama Lyra even finished stretching, the kittens jumped on her bed. "Mama," Milo would say, "how many presents did we get this year?" "Are there a lot?" Pip would add. "1,000 for me," Lulu always asked hopefully. Mama Lyra would laugh and pat their small, fuzzy heads. "We'll see, little ones, we'll see." But the question never stopped. At breakfast, at lunchtime, even when they were brushing their fur at night. One snowy morning, Mama Lyra was stirring a pot of cinnamon cocoa while she heard loud voices coming from the living room. "I got the biggest pile," Milo shouted. "No, I got the most because I helped Mama decorate the tree," Pip squeaked. "Nuh-uh," cried Lulu. "I'm the youngest, so I get the most." Mama Lyra peeked around the corner. "Oh dear," she sighed. There were her kittens, rolled up in wrapping paper like little burritos, tail puffed, ribbons tingled around their paws. A tower of empty gift boxes surrounded them like tiny cardboard mountains. They weren't just excited anymore. They were fighting. Lyra set down her spoon, dusted cocoa off her paws, and stepped into the room. "Kittens," she said gently, "it sounds like we need to have a little talk." The kittens froze, their ears lowered, their tails dropped. They shuffled over and sat in a small, fluffy row. "Come sit with me," Mama Lyra said, setting into her big rocking chair by the fireplace. The kittens crawled into her lap, curling like little cinnamon roll shapes. Outside, the snowflakes tapped softly against the window. Mama Lyra stroked their ears. "My sweet ones," she began, "Christmas is exciting, but it's not about who gets the most gifts." The kittens stared up with wide eyes. "Then what is it about?" Pip whispered. Mama Lyra smiled. "Let me tell you a very, very old story. The story of the first Christmas." The room fell quiet. "A long time ago," Mama Lyra said softly, "in a small town called Bethlehem, something wonderful happened." The kittens listened. "God gave us the greatest gift, His son, Jesus. He was born in a stable wrapped in soft cloth, surrounded by love." Milo blinked. "A baby? In a barn?" "Yes," Mama Lyra nodded. "Not in a palace, not with fancy gifts, just a simple place full of peace." Lulu whispered, "That's why we have Christmas." "That's right," said Mama Lyra. "Christmas began not with presents, but with God's love. He sent Jesus to bring hope and joy to the whole world." The kittens were silent. All 3 little noses wiggled at the same time, thinking. "So," Mama Lyra said softly, "when we celebrate Christmas, we remember that love." Milo sirens. "So Christmas isn't about getting the most gift. It's about being thankful," Lulu nodded quietly. "And loving others," Pip said, nodding. Mama Lyra kissed each of their heads. "You 3 are so smart." The kitten snuggled into her chest, letting her soft purr fill their ears. "I still like presents," Milo mumbled. Feeling lighter and happier, the kittens hopped off Mama Lyra's lap. "Mama," Pip shouted suddenly, "can we make cookies?" "Jesus, cookies," Lulu said proudly. Mama Lyra smiled. "Let's do it." They tied on aprons covered in flour from last time and got to work. Together they mixed the dough, rolled it out, and cut shapes. Flour flew everywhere onto the walls, the counters, and even Lyra's whiskers. But Mama Lyra didn't mind. The kittens were giggling and happy again. When the cookies came out warm and golden, The kittens nibbled them with satisfied purrs. "This tastes amazing," Milo said happily. Mama Lyra chuckled. "It sure does." Christmas morning finally arrived. The tree lights sparkled like tiny stars. The house smelled of pine cocoa and sweet sugar cookies. The kittens bounced excitedly, but this time they didn't argue. Instead, they held their paws in a circle. "Thank you, God," Lulu said softly. "Thank you for Jesus," Pip added. "And for Mama," Milo whispered. Mama felt her eyes water. "Now," she said, "go ahead." The kittens dove into their presents with joyful squeals, but something was different. For every gift they opened, they said, "Thank you, Mama! Thank you, God! Wow, this is amazing!" Mama Lyra watched them with the warmest smile she'd ever worn. "Wow, this is amazing!" Mama Lyra watched them with the warmest smile she'd ever worn. Her kittens still loved Christmas, but now they loved it the right way, with thankful hearts full of understanding. That night, after the presents were opened, after the cookies were eaten, and after the playful chaos had settled, the kittens curled up beside Mama Lyra near the crackling fireplace. "Mama," Pip yawned, "this was the best Christmas ever." "It felt different," Milo murmured happily. "Better," Lulu purred. Lyra wrapped her tail around them like a blanket. "Because you remember the true meaning," she whispered, "and that is the greatest gift you can give." The kittens fell asleep one by one, paws tucked under their chins, dream filled not with gifts, but with the love, peace, and the joy of Jesus' birth. The kittens still loved the lights, the songs, the cookies. They still loved presents, but more than anything else, they loved the gospel meaning of Christmas. God's love sent to earth, wrapped not in paper, but in a tiny baby, and a promise of hope. Every year they remembered it together, with cookies, cuddles, prayers, and thankful hearts. The end.